Hi there, Aries. This is your weekly reading for the week of November 23rd. Thank you for your patience while we tried to figure out where we would put these videos for you at all. If you haven't noticed, every single video from my other YouTube channel is missing, over 700 of them. They're just gone. YouTube is not at fault here. I know exactly where the problem is. I'm letting them work it out for sake of investigation, and we made a conscious decision to put these videos on another channel so that they wouldn't disappear as well, because I got some messages from people that they hadn't even gotten to see the rest of their November readings before they completely disappeared, and I actually got to watch it happen in real time as it was occurring. And really, it just comes down to a stupid tool that I knew was being misrepresented. In a way, I was a little bit naive because I didn't think they'd take it that far, although I was warned that there was a big issue with misrepresentation. But you guys will get to hear all about it next year, so I'll give you some insight on how to handle these same things for those of you that have been asking me to check these things out. So with that said, on Monday, the card that you've drawn is the Star card. The Star card in reverse is talking about a sense of disillusionment. Maybe you're disappointed in the outcome of a situation. You don't like the way things are going. Maybe you just feel like you haven't made enough progress and it's causing you a little bit of depression. Just try to keep that encapsulated into the moment or into the idea of what it is that you don't believe is going well for you, because it's probably more a symptom of the emotional roller coaster we're all getting ready to strap in for, which is the full moon in Gemini at 3 degrees, and that is your solar third house across the sky from Sagittarius, who's hosting Saturn. So, we need to be honest in our communications. We need to be honest in our assessment of what it is that we're responding to. But remember that with Saturn up there in the 9th house, it's almost begging us to take into consideration whether this is for the greater good, or does it only really serve to add fuel to the fire? What's the conservative way to approach any of these issues that could come up on a volatile week like this? This is a very active sky. It's active in ways that might not be comfortable. I say try to take off time if you've got it from work, if that's a possibility for you. It isn't for most of us, but just make sure that you take good care of yourself, get some rest, and be sure that you are listening to your own inner guidance system. And if you are hosting a Thanksgiving dinner at your house, maybe throw in the extra precaution of not having alcohol. It's really lovely to toast, so just get bottles of sparkling cider and enjoy that. If you have kids that could get restless, you can buy them some very small, inexpensive gifts, even at like dollar stores, and get some grab bags ready for them to be entertained and enjoying themselves, so they won't maybe be making too much noise for cranky Aunt Gertrude, or drunk Uncle Joe, who shows up drunk every year, won't have one more thing to complain about. Just try to keep the situation calm. On Tuesday, the 24th, we've got the 7 of Swords card, and this is a card that talks about a need to just keep it on the lowdown. And yeah, it could mean that somebody's keeping something out of your peripheral vision. You're aware that there's something going on, but you don't know just quite what it is. That will resolve itself this week, so there really isn't anything you have to worry about. Just get ready for your festivities, your preparations, whatever you usually do, and don't get too involved in anybody's drama or complaints, because you could do the simple thing like you're getting ready to stuff this turkey and prepare it, and you're like, do you really need to talk to me about your problems at work again while I'm trying to cook? And look at this big knife. And that person loses their mind because they're used to venting at you because of one thing or another. And this time they're not, taking it so well, and you're feeling somewhat slighted or cheated, or vice versa. So just remember, the best way to avoid this situation is to not put yourself in a position where you're confronted, or that you feel somewhat defensive or even confrontational. Is there a way to control all of this? No. We're just doing the best we can with the tools that we have: astrology, tarot, psychic insight, and maybe some seltzer water. On Wednesday, we have the 7 of Cups in reverse, and the 7 here indicates a need to look at things realistically, to look at things the way they are, not how you wish them to be. Even for those of you in relationships, you have a tendency to project what you wish you could see in that other person, which really is a reflection of what you wish you were more like, or maybe the parts of yourself that you like that you wish the other person would be like. Well, the bottom line is that we don't don't end up with people that are just like us, because if they were just like us, we would probably never want to date them, and we'd know that. I'm pretty sure I don't want to date me. How about you? So also here, because this is the 25th and the day of the full moon, again, try to just ameliorate situations, de-escalate them, try to not be present as much as possible. If you're sharing custody with your ex and he or she is going out of control, just being mean and nasty, upsetting the children, and you know how hard that is. I've been through that. My kids coming home with bruises on their knees, and especially my 17-year-old telling me exactly how they got there, and knowing there was really not a whole lot I could do until the system could catch up. Sometimes that involved me biting my tongue and telling my ex and his new wife that I loved them and that I hoped that God would bless them in ways that would really be good for them in their lives. And those were hard words to utter, but if I can say them, I guarantee you anyone can, because it's very hard for me to get to the point of just releasing and letting go and allowing without, putting my kids at risk or myself. So just keep that in mind, that if you think it's going to be volatile or dysfunctional, even at somebody's Thanksgiving dinner, a family member's house that you don't want to go to, there's nothing like a case of explosive diarrhea as a good excuse for not wanting to be there. On Thursday, we've got the King of Pentacles in reverse, and this is a card that talks about a person, an individual who may very well be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, earth sign, or somebody who's like an earth sign in a negative way. And this person could be a female who's very masculine. You know how that goes. So this individual is very materialistic. And again, this is a person who's projecting their insecurities, their failings and shortcomings onto everyone else. Could be the entire room as forum to make themselves feel better by putting down the rest of people. Why do they do this? It's just comes down to basic insecurity. Why does anyone else do it? Why do people have to put people down? Why do people have to keep putting down the mother of their children or the father of their children when it's like, okay, so yeah, that already happened. Is that person out of your life or is it under control? You don't have to like each other. You just have to co-parent. If you're in a situation that has children involved and you're even at all in the realm of the potential for a complex divorce because children are involved, this could represent one of the parents in the family, like your parent or step-parent, their parent or step-parent, who could be in the mix, kind of pointing fingers and trying to cast blame on a corner that they can't even identify because they've never looked at the situation with an objective eye. So just keep that in mind. Again, keep it very quiet. Don't say much about it. Friday with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this is almost an indication that if a negotiation has to take place this week and it involves finances or real property or the division of debt or assets, this is where you probably don't want to do that. It's a Friday, so hopefully you won't have experienced any of this energy beforehand. If you've got a situation like a marriage or a dissolution that's imminent and you really don't want to deal with it this week, you probably won't have too much trouble having other people resist and wanting to power through it, because most people don't want to work, especially in the legal profession, right? They'll do whatever they have to do, but they're not doing it on Thanksgiving. They might do it over the weekend, but they won't contact you. On Saturday, we have the World card. So this is a card that indicates in reverse that there's a situation that will end, that will wrap up, something like a major cycle in your life that is almost over. Will it be wrapped up before the end of the month? Probably not, but you're working on it, and that's all you need to know. The Hierophant here at the end of the week on Sunday is telling you that being conservative is going to help you out a lot. It could also at the same time contradict itself and say that you need to think outside the box for this one, that doing whatever is holy and pious isn't going to help you. And we see what religion does to people. It makes insanity very apparent. So I think more and more we're realizing that religion is the problem, not the solution. Spirituality is a solution, and it's the natural way to be. Not everybody's going to catch up to this, obviously, right? But at least you can benefit by knowing that no matter what your choice is or what the other person's choices are, especially as it relates to seventh house issues, which is your solar, seventh house is Libra, and there could be issues with interactions of a partnership, a marriage, or somebody important to you, you'll realize that if you guys can just push aside your differences and power through this, whether it's possible or not remains up to the two people involved or two or more people if there's children involved. But if you just hang on to what's the right thing and stick with the spiritual and not the rules that little boxes can sometimes feel safe in, but they cause us more problems than they solve, then everybody will be okay. Is there going to be a happy solution for everybody this week in all things? Probably not, but there will be leftover turkey, Aries.